right. Oh shit, night jogger. That's some David Goggins level shit. But back to the bulk. God damn it. Day number 103. Even if that's wrong, I do know that it is fucking chest day. Chest, pretty basic lift if I'm being real. I mean, all I'm gonna end up doing is a bunch of heavy pressing and then, some fly movements at the end, right? Because what else is there to do? You know, I've seen a few workouts like when people post like, okay, chest day 101. This is or the most optimal chest day, and then I see them like they choose the exercise of like a fly or a dips as like a pre-exhaust, and then they move into a heavy pressing, or not even heavy. They just move into a pressing movement. It doesn't connect with me. I don't understand. I would not want to start a chest day with like flies. I want to start chest with a heavy ass pressing movement when I'm nice and fresh and strong. Because you got to remember, I mean, mass moves mass. Like, I'm not going to say you can't build muscle with moderate weight, but I'm pretty certain you're going to be able to build muscle with heavy weight. I'm not a scientist, but that claim doesn't seem so far-fetched. So, in my mind, I'm going to get warmed up. Before chest, I always start off with some tricep extensions on the or tricep pushdowns with the cables, a little bit of rear delt activations, maybe some cross body pressing just to kind of get some blood flow in the area, make sure my shoulders are nice and you know at least a little warm, and then jump onto a bench, throw a plate on, 10 maybe 8 reps or something, 2 plates, a little bit less, 3 plates, even just a few reps, and then by then I'm pretty much ready for my heavy set, and I'll do whatever that is. And as the lift goes on, I'll lower and lower the weight because my chest is just going to get physically and physically weaker. But in exchange, it's going to get more and more pumped. So let's not fucking talk about it. Let's just go do it. All right, so I did a set of 1 plate, set of 2 plates, warming up with the cables. So after I do this set of 3, that'll be a pretty good gauge for me on how heavy I'll be able to go. And you got to kind of use your best judgment with that sort of thing. Like, just because you hit some weight the last week, like if you feel a little off or like a little unsure about it, you know, as long as that's not just like you being a baby, it may be in your best interest not to go too crazy with it. So I'm about to switch from barbell to dumbbell press. Incline, of course. I only do fucking incline pressing. Because, I mean, for me, I want a bigger upper chest, right? My lower chest is a little bit more developed, which I do think is sort of the tendency for most lifters, considering everyone's doing flat bench. And sure, you call it flat bench, but you're not doing it flat, you fucking arch. So it may as well just be like a minor decline, you know? As far as I can tell, incline pressing is underrated and should be administered much more frequently. But like I was saying, you know, I just moved from one lift and I'm about to jump to another one. Do I need to do more warm-up sets? Well, it's working the same muscle. I'm already, you know, I already did some heavy weight. I don't want to do feeler sets throughout my workout, right? Like, I don't have a notebook to track my weights. I kind of just know how strong I am. But I just did bench heavy. Now I'm going to jump straight to dumbbell bench heavy. No need to do a warm-up set. I mean, maybe if you're kind of a beginner, you should. But if you're used to the lift, I say just jump right into your top set. Don't hold me to that if you get hurt, though. You know, use your best judgment. Oh my God, no chance. Holy crap. I think that might be enough free weights for now. I don't know. It's definitely going to be good. Obviously, like I say, start your lifts off with the heavy shit. So for chest, I always start off with like heavy bench, maybe heavy Smith or heavy dumbbell. And then, you know, usually transition more towards flies and stuff at the end. So I'll do a few more sets of this machine press, incline, of course. And then I think rather than just finish with 2 sets of flies and make this chest day like push focused, I think I'll do kind of a half and half. So the first half push, second half, you know, more fly, concentration, stretch, pump. You know, think of a few other adjectives to throw in there. But I'll try to throw around this stack, feel a good squeeze. In terms of like mind muscle connection with the chest, as long as you lift a lot, it'll just kind of happen one day. I remember I was benching in the basement gym. You know, whatever, normal reps, feel like I'm pushing through my hands. And then that, all of a sudden, whoa, holy shit, my chest. Like, you just kind of sort of wait for it. I'll do drop set. Whew. Little drop set now and again. It'll do you good. Let's move on to a cable. Actually, no, I got a different lift in mind. I would describe this as I mean, honestly, considering how simple a lot of lifts are, I would describe this as an advanced lift. Like, if you don't have, like, if you can't manually contract your pecs, like, like pop your pec style, you're probably not going to get much value from this particular exercise. And even I don't really throw it in too much, but it is kind of cool. So the logic is you grab a pair of dumbbells, moderate weight, not too crazy. You just kind of hold them in front of you, like rest the butts of them on your quads. And then you kind of just pull it across your body, maybe a little bit of forward motion as well. And if you just do that movement, you might get a lot of shoulder involvement, but if you can sort of manually relax everything up here and just get your pecs contracting, then you can get a really good squeeze. Like, you're not getting the same stretch as like a pec fly, but that burning sensation, I say it gives me a good pump. I'll probably just do one of these, but it's good to throw in some weird shit every so often. So these are the 40s. And if you've got zero access to cable flies, like for whatever reason, this is probably good for you. But I'd also recommend just like laying flies on the ground. But whatever, enough of that. Let's do the set. Let's do the set, goddammit. Fuck. Ooh. Ooh. It's been a long time since I've done that. Holy sh! That feels insane. So like I said, if you can pop your pecs, try this once you've already got a chest pump. Oh, I'm doing another one, goddammit. Yeah. Fuck. I do get a decent amount of comments. You don't lift with music? Of course I lift with music, dude. I love fucking lifting with music. I wouldn't want to lift without it if I had the choice. So you're like, okay, you're recording on the phone and you're listening to music at the same time. How the fuck do you do that? There's a trick to it. I'll tell you because you guys deserve it. So what you do, you got your music playing, right? You open your camera app, the norm one, it's on iPhone, and you don't go to video. You leave it in photo mode, right? So you got your tripod set up. You want to play your hype music and record your set. So you go to photo mode, you click the camera button, you push it, and you drag it up, right? And what that's going to do is it's going to start recording video, and you'll be able to hear your music at the same time. So, do with that what you will. I'm going to fucking go crazy on cables right now. Standard flies, no drop set or nothing. Ooh, okay, line, drop set. listening to Smooth Operator right now. If you're a JoJo fan, that's kind of a neat little reference. 2 more, and then we're done. I'm already pumped to hell. Yeah. 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 Okay. 1 more. So, as you should be more than aware, I stay away from lower chest. I stay away from working it. I don't do dips. I don't do lower, I don't do decline bench. But it's part of the chest. It needs a little work, perhaps. So, sometimes at the end of a lift, what I like to do just as a finisher is going to be normal flies. If you've seen my chest workouts before, you know I do this reasonably frequently. So last set's going to be just straight up flies, just like last time. But instead of doing a drop set into the pressing, I'll put the weight down, lower it by maybe, I don't know, 30%, 40%, and then just do like flies sort of rather than in front of you, kind of just down here. Just get a really good stretch. Just a different way to do it, If you're fucking around on the cables, it's an extremely versatile lift, the cable fly. You can go up here, go right in front of you, go below you. It's good to just be able to change it up on the fly. But this is my last set, and then we can check the fucking pump, man. I can already tell it's demonstrably incredulous. That's a real niche reference. All right, let's check it out. Okay. What do we think? Good pump? Bad pump? Holy shit. Oh my goodness. Dude, those chest striations just pulled the goofiest laugh out of me. Oh my god. Okay, let's see the whole thing. Let's see the whole thing if we're ready for it. That is not bad. In fact, it's the complete opposite of bad. Dude. It's kind of interesting. I'm fairly certain I feel the same satisfaction from this pump right now as I did back in my first year lifting high school when I was getting pumped. Because you got to think, I'm like, this workout shit, this takes a while to develop, but you can see a quick change, like a momentary just boost in size just from getting a pump, and that's just going to be relative to how you look, yourself. So ideally, if you got a fucking good workout and you went hard, you're fully hydrated, bulking or cutting, you should have a frightening pump. Like, it should freak you out. All right, let's hit a couple of the cornerstone poses. Oh my god. I like that, but I also like doing it like this. They're both kind of cool. Ooh. Not too many poses for chest, if we're being real. Most muscular, goddammit. Oh. So let's think about this. How long do you have to release the dog that you got inside you when you're in the gym, you know? Obviously, every time you do a set, you should be hyped up. You should get a couple of breaths going. If nobody's gonna be upset, you should make a little bit of noise, you know, and then you start your set. But in between, it kind of just depends on my mood, you know? Like if I'm like real into it, you know, I'll be in between sets, zero thoughts in my head other than, you know, just honestly nothing, just like, all right, let's go hard, whatever. But, you know, sometimes I sit down, kind of chill, take a couple breaths, listen to music I'm listening to. I was scrolling TikToks in between a couple of those sets. I'm not saying you should do it, because that could, you know, potentially lead you to get out of the zone and be distracted, take too long. But, you know, your time in between sets, that's just for you to kind of recover. Take a breath, you know, you got like 2 minutes. Maybe go fuck around with one of the boys, say some kind of goofs, socialize. But if you do that, you got to be able to flip the switch when you actually do your sets, or else, you know, you're just going to come in here to play around and you're not going to make any progress, you know? Like, it's fun, you're in the gym with all your buddies, chatting it up, you know, you go around, you're watching them do their sets back and forth. But when it's your turn to fucking bench, you got to get real. Well, I want you to get real. You can do whatever you want. I'm just trying to tell you my thoughts. So I'm going to get some calves going, and then we get in the car, dextrose shake, and discuss some other topic that I still need to think of. All right. Solid chest day. Literally nothing to complain about it. I'm sick. So let's slam the dextrose shake. Let's break down the science of dextrose. You just worked out. Your muscles used fuel. So now they're out of gas. And you gotta fill them back up. What are you gonna fill it up with? Carbs. Now, what type of carb is the best? The simplest form of carbs. Now, what would you describe as a complex carb? You know, oats perhaps? Perhaps grain, maybe in some cases, like sweet potato, yams. I hear people talk about yams a lot. Now, what's the simplest going to be? A sugar. But what's the simplest kind of sugar? Ooh, this is where you get into this is where you push it to the limit. All right, dextrose, you buy it on its own. It's going to be in a bulk container, like 5 pounds. It doesn't matter where you get it. It's all the same shit as long as the only ingredient is dextrose. So 50 grams post-workout, bulking or cutting. If you're cutting, maybe do like more like 25, because if you're, you know, trying to diet down responsibly, you should be tracking your calories. And 50 grams of sugar at once, that's kind of a big hit. Maybe you should drop it just so you have, you know, that extra 100 calories somewhere else during the day. But bulking, 50 grams, it's probably going to be good for you. As a serious lifter, like if you go to the gym every day and you work out hard and you do your cardio, that's like an extra level of serious lifter. You can kind of eat whatever the hell you want. I've found, like, it doesn't really matter too much, of course. Obviously, if you eat too much, you're gonna get too much body fat on you. But, you know, within reason, there is perfect logic to the saying, like, you can burn it off, right? You know, everybody kind of You get out of high school, you stop working out, you stop doing your sport, you gain that 15 pounds in college. You got to keep hitting the gym, man. That is going to be good for you. Your body's meant to move around, right? We didn't evolve. I've said this kind of rant before. We didn't evolve to just sit down. Oh, okay, I'm going top lane. Oh my god, they're ulting. Dude, I hate League. I hate League players. But enough of that. You're not meant to just sit around. You're meant to do some shit. You know, run around. Fuck. Fucking. Well, yeah, I guess that too. I didn't mean it like that. But let's slam the dextrose. Enough of this fucking rant. Okay. Okay, that's good. I did a little less protein this time, so it didn't taste too bad. So, what else is there to discuss? Full day of eating. You guys are demanding it so much. Of course, I'm gonna do it. Just give me some time. Give me some time, god damn it. I've been putting it off. But yeah, full day of eating. It will happen. Probably not within the next week. I don't know. I got a lot of I got 2 more weeks of school, and I got a lot in those 2 weeks. I don't even want to think about it. But full day of eating will happen. That's all. That's the only thing I can think of. Obviously, I'm going to continue the standard content of the lifts. Okay, what else? I should brainstorm. Write some ideas for these. Sometimes I'm just drawing a blank. Vitamins, you guys, I've referenced them before. I was getting a few comments what kind of vitamins you should do. I talk about this fucking every other video. Taking your vitamins are good for you, because I guarantee that you are not eating a perfectly, macro and micro nutrient balanced diet. This is the modern day and age where we eat garbage, just sort of baseline, lackluster, non-nutritious foods for the most part, which not ideal, but you can kind of counteract that if at the end of your day of eating gunk, slam a men's or women's, for the 1% female viewer. A men's vitamin right before you go to bed. You can even get it in a gummy. You get a sweet little treat. But it's gonna, if you have a deficiency, right, which for the most part everybody is gonna have some. Like I almost guarantee you're not getting enough sun. Nobody is. So you definitely have a vitamin D deficiency. Do you stand up and your head gets a little fuzzy? You get a little bit lightheaded. You're probably lacking some iron or whatever. That sort of shit. Your brain, man, you're probably just gonna feel better. Pretty much in general, you're not gonna take your vitamins and the next day you're gonna wake up and go, whoa, look at me, I feel sick. But in the long term, your body is gonna do you good. I've said this analogy before. It's like topping off all your fluids in your car, right? You're still gonna be able to drive without windshield wiper fluid. Why would you want to do that? What happens if you hit a fucking whatever. So as I get busier with school, it'll get progressively more difficult to get meals in. But I got about 1 more month of bulk that I'm going for, so I will still try to do my best, and not like not for you guys. I want to fucking get bigger. This is more of an internal type deal. So I'm gonna try my hardest to, eat a big ass breakfast. If you got a hard time getting in food throughout the day, the last thing you want to do is get behind schedule and have a bunch of food to eat at night, because that's just gonna put you in a fucking loop. Because then you're gonna stay up late trying to eat food. You're gonna get shit sleep. Then you're gonna wake up the next day and do the same thing. Repeat, repeat, repeat. It's not good, right? A big ass breakfast, a whole huge bowl of cereal, eggs, protein shake, fucking bagel with a fucking ton of cream cheese on it. At the end of the day, calories are calories, right? I've said this before. If I ate, 2,000 calories worth of ice cream and donuts, I would get leaner, right? Because that amount of calories, that amount of fuel, is less than my body burns just to maintain my current weight. And if I were to eat, 5,000 or 6,000 calories worth of, rice and grilled chicken and beef, I would still gain weight, right? Or like salad, because even though those foods are like conventionally called healthy, right? How that relates to your weight loss and your weight gain is purely going to be dictated by the amount of calories that you eat per day. So, as you progressively, learn more and more about dieting, I'm not going to teach everything right now. You got to do the shit on your own. Just over time, absorbing knowledge, talking to people, you'll sort of get an understanding of how much calories you have to eat to gain or lose weight for your specific build, right? And, I know that as well. If I want to gain weight right now, I need to be eating like 5,000-6,000 calories per day, right? If I eat like 4,000, I'm not going to gain weight. So that's my my trial right now. But if you really have no idea and you're total beginner, you got 3 tasks that I'll assign you. For one, you need to go online and look up maintenance calorie calculator. You plug in your weight, your like estimated body fat, maybe look up an image on Google, like body fat percentage images or scale, I don't know, figure it out. Just make a good guess, your age, your activity level, and it'll tell you a basic, amount of calories that you burn per day just from your daily life. So if you plug in 170-pound lifter, I just assume you're a lifter. 180-pound guy, fairly active. It'll give you a little bit of a scale. 15% body fat. Then it's gonna spit out this number, maybe like 2,800 calories or 2,500 calories. I don't know. You'll have to see for yourself. And that's gonna be a decent estimate of how much food that you need to eat to just stay the same weight. Now, if you extrapolate from that, then if you eat an extra 500 or 600 calories above that number, then you're going to start gaining weight. And if you eat 500-600 calories less than that number, then you're going to lose weight. Now, how do you know how much food you're eating? You need, this is step number 2, to go online, or not online, go on the App Store and find a macro tracking app, right? Now, you know me, I like to keep it simple. So the one that I use is, it's called Stupid Simple Macro Tracker, right? And it's fucking bare bones, basic shit. Every day you can plug in the amount of fat, carbs, and protein that you've eaten. So, you eat a fucking Gatorade protein bar, look on the back, okay, 20 grams of protein, type it in, okay, 10 grams of fat, okay, you type it in, okay, 30 grams of carbs, okay, you type it in, and then it'll track it, right? Now, if you want to actually get good at this, you pretty much have to track everything you fucking eat. You gotta, if you're really gonna get crazy about all this lifting stuff and either getting big or getting lean, this is something you gotta do. Now, How do you know how much chicken your mom made you, right? How much beef did you just eat? Third step, you need a food scale. That is a staple of any lifter who's worth his salt, right? He's going to have that in his kitchen, right? And it's getting used constantly, right? Every time I pour myself a glass of milk, well, okay, I don't pour myself a glass. I just drink it out of the jug. Put the gallon of milk on the scale, zero it out, take a couple of swigs, read out how many, you know, how much volume of or how much weight of milk I just had. Flip it over, find out how many grams of protein, carbs, and fats that is, and then I plug it in. And I mean, it's kind of a crazy thing, That's once you start doing that, you're like, let's say you're a high schooler. Your parents might think you're fucking weird when you're measuring out every fucking gram of chicken that you're eating and every gram of ketchup, because the ketchup has carbs in it, But that's what you got to do, This you got to be kind of anal about it. But once you start doing it, it's just gonna become a habit. Like you won't even think about it. It doesn't really sound good when I say it like this, but it literally becomes a compulsion. Like you'll just think to yourself, okay, well I got to eat it. All right, let's weigh it. And then eventually it'll get a little bit easier because you can you'll have like kind of a mental gauge of what 6 ounces of chicken is, cooked chicken, and you'll also know how many grams of protein that is, right? It's you just you have to do it to know it, right? But that's not really fun when you tell people that. There's a lot of people who like to just lift, and they don't like to focus on diet. It's like I want to go in the gym and go hard, and I want to eat whatever I want. Which no, I mean that's legit. That's their thing. But I will admit it'll probably give you better results if you take your diet into your what am I saying? Not take it into your own hands, but if you take it more seriously, I'll say that, right? But it gets a little funky, because food is sort of you know, people like food. Some people like food too much, and I'm not saying that it's just because they eat too much of it, but there's sort of an emotional connection, which you kind of lose once you start looking at it as just macros. But I've never really felt that way. I just kind of do it, So now I'm really rambling. I'm gonna go home, sleep. Well, before I do that, I'm gonna, eat some more food, vitamins. Uh, I looked at Canvas earlier. I didn't have anything due tonight. Lucky for me. But I'm gonna grind that out, and then back day tomorrow. Back day, probably gonna be. I'm definitely gonna do some kind of heavy rowing movement. Guarantee it. Guarantee it as a start, and then the same as usual. Pull downs, machine row, perhaps some pullovers, cable rows. Then I can guarantee I'm gonna get a good pump. So I'm excited for that. But first, I'll have cardio in the morning. Maybe some of you guys will actually start fucking doing it. It is good for you. It is legitimately good for you. I'll elaborate more later on. But have a good night, goddammit. Or a good day. Depends on when you watch this. But I will see you next time.